Hey, Russell Hotel's going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how we do it. We're back, or at least somebody's back here. I'm Russell Hotels. This is Miss Tiffany. She joins me on Tuesday on Mondays
Happy
for
Monday.
daily check-in. So this is daily check-in on Monday morning. It's like 9:05 here on the West Coast, which is the best coast. And I don't know where Tiffany is, but she'll let me know where she's tuning in from. What's going on, Miss Tiffany?
Good morning. Happy Monday. So it's East Coast. I don't know. What do they call the East Coast? I guess it's not the best coast.
Not the best coast, no. It's
It's just the East Coast.
just the East Coast. You're just on the East Coast. Okay. All right. Where on the East Coast are you?
I'm in Savannah. I'm in Savannah. Yes,
Where's
for a
Savannah
personal
in?
trip.
Where's Savannah? What state is Savannah in? Everybody doesn't know where Savannah is.
I feel like Savannah is one of those cities that doesn't need the state. You know how you have certain cities? You have Atlanta. You know where Atlanta is. Savannah's the same place. Savannah, Georgia.
Just remember, we're international here. I'm global. I don't know about you, but I'm
Oh,
global.
my bad. I am Savannah, Georgia, in the United States of America.
Okay, that's all you have to
Just in
say.
case.
Okay, so
Just in case.
Savannah's in Georgia, so
Um,
it's the southeast region. Okay, all right, all right.
So this is my annual trip, extended Mother's Day weekend. We come out here. So I've been to Savannah several times. Savannah is a great location for meetings, events, conferences. Why? Because the walkability to me. Like if you do any events on the riverfront, there's been a lot of development. So typically it's that JW the power plant right there in the river, huge hotel. But since then, I'm staying at Homewood Suites because it's just a nice extended stay hotel. We're here for a week. But this is I think a full year that the AC hotel next door has been built. So I remember when it was being built, and I was like, oh, what's this new hotel? So directly next door is an AC hotel. They have great setup for meetings and events. Now, the Homewood Suites that I'm at is more of a leisurely stay, not a lot of event space. And actually, where I'm at, this is a newly created business center. They didn't even have this last year, so I'm over here. I got a working space now,
Wow.
which is good. And I want to say probably because of the AC hotel next door, they were like, hey, we got to have a little bit of seating space. So since last year, they have expanded their space to have a little seating area. They have a nice little comfortable lobby. But again, it's more for that leisure space, leisure hotel. Now, right next door, they got the meeting space right there in the lobby. They have my favorite, a rooftop. So they got a rooftop restaurant.
Of course.
But I don't think they have a pool next door at the AC. So that's where the Homewood Suites, they have a nice rooftop pool that we were hanging out in yesterday. So yeah, both really great options right here on the river. Russell, have you been to Savannah?
No.
Okay. All right. So, well, just kind of want to describe that the Riverwalk is so very accessible. You can walk down, and I want to say maybe a good mile and a half of Riverwalk, and then they have a ferry. So I'm between, like I said, the AC hotel is directly across the street, but then maybe a 2-minute walk is another Marriott. You can catch the ferry at the Marriott, and it'll take you all the way down the Riverwalk. So if you don't want to walk it. And then it also takes you across the river to the convention center. So last year I was able to tour the convention center because they recently renovated it. It's gorgeous, beautiful. So that's another option for larger events that want to maybe stay across the river. You can contract the ferries to take you to the convention center. They can do their event. They can come back on the riverfront, have a good time. One of my favorite places because it's just, you don't need a car. You come from the airport, you know what I mean? Take an Uber or whatever, and then you're surrounded by so much. And I think a lot of times, that's important when we contract. When people are like, hey, give me an idea or a location where to go, where to have an event. And you're like, well, give me some, particulars. And I'm like, okay, Savannah, because it has a lot of everything. you know.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so great. We've had some decent weather, a little bit of rain, but for the most part, really decent weather. But yeah, that's just kind of more of a gist of Savannah. So hopefully you get out there
Yeah,
one
I've
day.
always wanted to go. I've been close to it. I mean, I just never got there. I mean, maybe within an hour of it, but I never got there. Um,
Mm,
yeah. So
yeah,
maybe one day, maybe one day. But I see photos and videos of it, and it looks beautiful. It looks like especially a great place for meetings because it's very walkable.
right.
See, yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
know if you noticed, but the CVB is very, very prevalent in events. You know, they're putting the word out. You know how, and I think we talked about this before. Some CVBs are, you know, more out there than others. They're more marketable. So this one is. There are quite a bit of events that we're at. They're always at IMAX. They're always at planner events. So they are trying to get the word out to bring meetings.
Oh yeah, no, I think they do a great job. I think the CVB does a great job there in Savannah. I just that I haven't been there, so maybe one day I get to experience it firsthand, like you are
Maybe.
right. Maybe, hopefully, I'm sure
Yeah.
one day I will. So one day I will. So you're staying at what'd you say you're staying where again?
The Homewood
Homewood.
Suites.
Homewood.
Yeah, Homewood Suites. So Hilton property.
So what would be the biggest hotel there, like as far as like yeah, the main hotel there. What would be the main hotel there in
The
Savannah?
main hotel, and the one that has a lot of space, the JW. It's a
Okay.
huge, yeah, and they're constantly you know, building and growing as well. And they have several, so they own several spaces. There's a JW. I wouldn't even know how many rooms. It's quite large. Um,
It's
I know,
quite
right?
large. Okay. Oh, that's good. It's
It's
quite
quite
large.
large. Well,
Okay,
you know what?
thanks.
I'm reflecting. I did a tour with them a couple of years ago. So I'm trying to remember that. And
Large.
yeah, it's a beautiful space. They have a gallery in the lobby. So, and a lot of times too with these hotels, especially larger hotels, um, they're not really open to the public. So this one is. They have a gallery, they have restaurants, so you don't have to be a guest to enjoy the space. And
Mhm.
it's on the other side of or the other end of the river. So yeah, a good option.
Okay.
Really good
Okay.
option.
Well, while you're sitting there talking, I just looked it up. Okay.
Thank you.
387 guest rooms, 14,000 square feet of meeting space. So
Look at
actually a
you.
decent sized hotel. So, that's what I
Yeah.
do. I don't know what you do, but that's how I do it. That's how I bring it
Yeah.
to the people.
Wow,
This is
look,
how
I
we
tell
do
you
it in
about it and
Atlanta.
you give me the facts. See, this is how we work together. This is
Oh,
why
man.
we can't be the same person. Like
Okay.
I
See,
give
okay. In the future, you let me know what you're gonna talk about, and then I'll make sure I have it already, and then I can just cue it up and put it on the screen, right?
hey, this is true, but I know that wouldn't be us. This is how we roll. We roll live.
Oh God. Anyway,
And so, okay,
anyway.
so that's a JW Marriott as well, but there's also a regular Marriott as well, and they do quite a bit of weddings too. Savannah is a great wedding market. Just FYI,
Okay,
not
yeah,
just you know
that'd be nice
meetings,
if I
but
get married again. Yeah, thanks.
so
It'll be fine.
I'm just
Thank you.
saying. I'm just saying. Great
Thank you.
location.
Hey, this is our daily check-in. We're live. I'm live in LA. Miss Tiffany is live out of what'd you say? Savannah,
Savannah,
Georgia. So we're
Savannah,
just talking
Georgia.
about, yeah, Savannah, Georgia. We're just catching up because she's been MIA for about a week or so. So we're trying to catch up on what's going on. And
Oh wait,
happy
wait.
belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. That was yesterday. We celebrated that, but happy belated Mother's Day to everybody. So, but yeah, so we do this. Well, the daily check-in is Monday through Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tiffany comes on. She graces us with her presence on Mondays, normally on Mondays, but she's been kind of MIA for the last several Mondays, I
Okay,
believe.
so you keep saying that, but I
Weren't
was
you MIA?
available.
Weren't you?
You
Weren't
keep
you
saying
here with me?
You keep saying that I was MIA. You were on location on Monday, remember? So we got to talk about where you were on Monday.
Yeah, but we could have picked this up on Wednesday, but you say, "Oh no, I'm traveling. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, I got so much going on." Remember that?
So you see how he switches it out.
Do you
see how
remember
he
that?
switches it up?
Do you remember?
Because Monday is our day.
Okay, but we're live.
I commit to Monday.
Okay, anyway, we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, so if you're on any of those platforms, feel free to make your comments, say hi. The chat is open. If you have questions, you just want to say hey, you know, give us the finger, whatever you want to do. You know what? It's up to you. Okay, so anyway, so but yeah, so Monday, okay, last Monday, I was actually went to Oxnard. Okay, because I hadn't been there in years, 20, at least 20 years, right? So I didn't know what to. I mean, I remember it 20 years ago, but you know, has it changed? And then I find out. Well, check this out. I find out that when I was there 20 years ago, I didn't make it to the harbor part, right? Because they have a harbor and everything. I didn't even go that far. I was just off the 101, which is the main highway that goes through there. So Oxnard is actually 7 miles. Hello, who's that? Actually,
that's like we're live. We're live, and my dad just photobombed me there.
What's up, Pops? What's going on? But yeah, so Oxnard is actually 7 miles off the freeway. So I'm like, I wasn't in Oxnard 20 years ago, so I didn't realize that they had their own harbor and all that kind of stuff. So I was able to check things out with the help of Miss Michelle Flippo, who is my representative for the DMO or the CVB there in Oxnard. Visit Oxnard. In fact, you know, I think I may have a little something up here. So basically, visit Oxnard. Boom. Okay. So if you have, you know, any questions at all, you want to check out Oxnard, just go visit oxnard.com. They got 9 hotels there, 100 restaurants, probably more than that, but that's, you know, basically what I came up with in my research. So let me see. Do I have Miss Flippo? So yeah, so that's my contact there. She's the operations and development manager with Visit Oxnard. So you know what? I'm ready. Okay, so I have things prepared, so I'm ready, right? Because I know what I'm going to talk about if the question comes up. Okay, so you know, just learn from that. Okay, learn from that. But no.
Well, I definitely have questions because you keep saying Oxnard. So for people that don't know, I guess what location wise,
okay, that's a great question. That is a great question. I love your line of questioning here, Miss Tiffany. So Oxnard I'm in Los Angeles. Okay, so Oxnard is in Southern California, but it's north of Los Angeles. It's 54 miles north of LA. So if you're on your way to, like, say, Santa Barbara, because a lot of people know Santa Barbara, but Santa Barbara would be on the high end as far as rates and cost and stuff like that. So Santa Barbara is probably another 50 minutes from Oxnard. I would say somewhere around there. So it's right in the middle of LA and in Santa Barbara. So I think it's an option to those. So say you want to get out of LA. Okay, I want to get out of LA. I don't want to be in LA. LA has its beaches as well and harbors and all that stuff. Santa Barbara does as well, but Oxnard is in the middle, meaning pricing is going to be lower than either one of those destinations I just mentioned. So it's a great option. And then let me just show you guys. Of course, I got photos that are lined up, right? So this is harbor area
on the water. Yeah,
it's a beach community, which a lot of people don't realize it's a beach community. It's a beach community and it's a farming community. So they have a lot of you want to get like fresh strawberries there. I mean, you can go. There's a lot of roadside stands where you can stop. I mean, where they grow them, they're just picking them right there. So it's a huge ag town as well, but it does sit on the beach. It has its own beach. It has its own harbor. You can fish out of there. A lot of whale watching expeditions go out of Oxnard as well. And there's whales that go back and forth all the time. I mean, you got gray whales, you got all kind of, I even hear there's orcas that come there occasionally as well. So it's just one of those places where I want to say, and I hate saying this because it shouldn't be that way. You know, it's one of those hidden gems or best kept secret and all that kind of stuff. Well, if it's all that, then we need to change that. Okay. You don't need to be a best kept secret. People need to know that you exist, right?
Right.
So you can rent bikes, those are 4-wheel bikes or whatever, and go along the waterfront, if you will. Let me just move this stuff out of the way so I can see you. And then you can rent those boats right there. I think up to maybe 50, 100 people, something like that, for excursions or whatever. So it's a lot. It's actually a lot to do. They have a lot of restaurants, and they have a beach
Oh,
there.
gorgeous.
And they have a beach as well. And this beach is actually at the Zachari Hotel. It's called Zachari Dunes, and I'll put that back up in a minute. And this it's a Hilton Curio collection. It used to be a DoubleTree some years ago, but they rebranded it. And it's, I mean, very nice hotel. Sits on the beach, kind of a Spanish style hotel. And I have some photos of that as well.
Now, are there public beaches, or is this a private beach?
That's a public beach.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, public beach. They have several beaches there.
Mm-hmm.
Only difference is who owns the beach. I mean, is it run by the state or run by the city? You know, that's the only thing.
Okay.
But they're all public beaches. And
Okay.
these are guest rooms at Zachari Dunes. 250 suites. This is an all suite property. So 250 suites, and then 36,000 square feet of meeting space. This is one space that has the natural lighting. I wanted to show that because it does have the natural lighting there. And the difference between this, the natural lighting's up, the windows are up top. If you notice.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
interesting.
Unique. It's kind of unique.
That is unique.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a hallway that leads to the meeting space. So yeah, so no, it's actually the only hotel that I went to, the only one I had a tour of. So yeah, but it was good. I was there half the day. We had lunch. Of course, they have restaurants that have non-meat eats. I had to do that, right? And Michelle was, she was, she took one for the team. A lot of people don't, they don't deal with the non-meat eats thing like I do, but she didn't know that I didn't eat meat until I told her maybe the day before. And she said, "Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'll find a restaurant, whatever." And they happen to have a couple of vegan options there, 100% vegan options there. So even Oxnard is all about the non-meat eats. Okay, so yeah,
good to know.
Just to kind of immerse myself in that kind of scene and know what's going on. This would be the higher end hotel, this Zachari Dunes Resort, which once again is a Hilton Curio collection. So, and no, it was good. It was definitely good. I'm glad I went out there. So now I know, and I can talk about it intelligently. You know what I mean? So you always, if you have opportunities to go check out these so-called hidden gems or hotels or destinations that a lot of people are not talking about, Oxnard would be one of those options, especially if you're in LA and you want to take your meeting out of LA, or you just want to take a trip out of LA. You know what I mean? Like as a former hotelier, a hotel salesperson, we would call this a drive market, meaning can you drive there in like an hour or so to get there, right? And this would be, so the people in Oxnard, like say if I was a director of sales in Oxnard, I will be hitting the LA market because it's a drive market, right? So people can actually drive from there to Oxnard in an hour or so, right? So I would think most of their business comes from the greater LA area. That's what I would think. It either comes from the greater LA area or more of the central part of California, like Bakersfield and some of those other farming communities or whatever. So it's definitely an option. Okay, definitely an option. And like I said, it's on my radar now, because before it necessarily was not on my radar. But in the next 2 years, I will have a group that I'll probably at least send an RFP, for that particular hotel, because for leisure groups is great. I have a family reunion that I do every other year. That one's already taken care of for this year, but 28 is not. So this may be an option for them because it's on the beach. We never had a property that was on the beach. There's a lot of recreation to do there. There's restaurants in the area. They have a couple of restaurants here on property as well. So yeah, it's definitely an option. definitely an
Well, I'm
option.
glad you made the distinguish between a drive market and someone, because when I think about, hey, how far is the airport? But when you talk about the comfort and driving, and I assume that people in California are more familiar with Oxnard than say someone coming in and saying, I want to do a California location, and you don't have to worry about the how far is it from the airport, the traffic, and now you have your guests commuting hours to a conference, so you got to keep those in mind too. So depending on what your event is, depending on who your attendees are, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
no, you're
keeping
definitely right.
that keeping that in mind. And I found that that's interesting. There's, I support some California teams where they're like, hey, to your point, where can we go? Where can we get out? Not too far, but we want to
Mhm.
still stay in this area or stay in the, California area and drive. So I think, just in general, knowing what hotels make sense.
Yeah.
We always talk about the transit and what the lift is, and
Mhm.
making that distinction that this is. I didn't know what the term was, but a drive market. But um, that's
I
good
mean,
to
that's more
know.
of a hotel. Like if you're on a hotel side, that's more what we would say, it's a
Okay.
drive market, meaning you can drive there in an hour or so. Not
Yeah.
have to worry about flying there. Um,
Right.
but if you were flying in, yeah, you would have to fly in either into LAX on not Ontario, Burbank, Santa Barbara, I believe does have an airport, but I mean it can be kind of pricey because there's not a lot of lift that comes in there from major
Sure.
cities. But then from Santa
And you still
Barbara,
have
you
to
would
think
have to
about your
take a shuttle or
transportation
whatever
getting
to
there.
come. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you definitely would have to
Okay.
do that. You definitely would have to do that. Not saying it's not you couldn't do it. You could do it, but it comes with some I'm gonna say some extra challenges or whatever because everybody's
Hmm.
not on the same plane. All that kind of stuff as well. So.
Right. Right.
So you would have to be really strategic about how you want to do it. But if you're in LA or Southern California and you didn't think about Oxnard, you always talk about Santa Barbara, or you always talk
Hmm.
about some of the LA beach city destinations, Huntington Beach, or some in Orange County and stuff like that. I mean, like I say, it's an option for that. So I mean, it's something worth taking a look at. I'll just
Hmm.
worth taking a look at. And a lot of people don't know this. I gave this fun fact the other day. A lot of people don't know, and I don't know if you're a football fan or not. I don't really know. I know you're in Chicago, so you claim to be, oh, we love the Chicago Bears, but I think you're a fair weather fan. You just go along with
Of
where you
course.
are. But spring training for Dallas Cowboys, which is probably one of the most iconic brands in any sports, is actually in Oxnard. A lot of people don't know that. So the Dallas Cowboys come. In fact, it's about to come up in the next month or so. Their spring
Okay.
training for a month is there in Oxnard. So a lot of people
Huh.
don't even know that. So yeah. So there you go. I mean,
Oh,
I'm just
interesting.
doing fun facts. I'm just doing
Well,
not
you
that
know
you know
what?
anything about that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, yeah, but no, I never would have guessed that. I mean, who would have guessed like Dallas coming to Oxnard? But yeah, that's
They've been
interesting.
coming there for years, and that's the thing. They've
Yeah.
been coming here since the early 2000s.
Mm,
A lot of people
okay.
don't know that. So yeah, so
Take
I'm
care of it.
throwing out fun facts. I'm just throwing out
Yes.
fun facts
Well,
like Billy Paul.
what interests me that Curio Collection Hotel with all suites, because when you talk about, hey, alternative to Santa Barbara or other locations, even then you're getting like a standard room. So the fact that that hotel has all suites, you
Yes,
know, no one's fighting over those rooms, you know,
exactly,
like who's
exactly.
getting the better room. I love it
Yes,
that
yeah, we
it's,
don't have Zinas. We don't have a bunch of Zinas lined up to. I need
oh,
a
just
suite.
stop it. Stop it. And then Curio Collection in itself, that's more of an elevated, trendier brand of Hilton.
Yeah,
So for
right.
it to be a Curio Collection and all suites, okay.
Yes, yes.
All right.
I
Comfortable.
was definitely impressed with the hotel.
Yeah.
For that right group, it definitely could work for it, but it just has to be that right group, right? So, but no, I definitely like it. It's definitely on my radar now. It should not be a best kept secret. It should not be a hidden gem. It should be
Yeah.
an option. It should be a viable option if you
Sure.
need, either group or you just, like I said, you're just trying to get away for the weekend or whatever. Think about it, because it is away from LA. I mean, it's a good little drive. And like I said, an hour. It took me maybe, I think, freeway to freeway, less than an hour to get
Okay.
there. So yeah, so no, and it was a nice drive. It wasn't a lot of traffic, and it was on a Monday. You would think on Mondays there's a lot of traffic, right? But it was last Monday, and it did not take me that long to get there. And what I noticed, there's not, and like I said, I didn't drive the entire town, but a lot of the restaurants, they're mom and pop. They're not. I didn't see a lot of chain stuff,
Okay.
which I think is
I
good.
love that.
I got some tea. I got a matcha from what is the name of it? Honey Cup Coffee House. You know what I mean? So
Oh, so you're one of those matcha people.
Huh?
You like a good matcha, huh?
Woo! Do I? Do
Oh,
I?
I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm a matcha and chai. I wasn't always a matcha person, but I was always a chai tea person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now I'm in the matcha too. In fact,
Okay.
when I ordered my matcha, they said, "Do you want it hot or cold?" I said, "Well, what do you recommend?" I recommend you getting it hot. Oh my God, that was the best decision ever. I'm like, man, because I got it on my way back home, right? And I just enjoyed that on the way back. Oh my God, it was so good. So if you're in Oxnard, Honey Cup Coffee House, okay?
Well, I tell you, I'm not from California, but I'm like, how can I get to Oxnard? Because you over here telling me you're sharing some good tips.
Well,
I love
try
it. I love the mom and pop idea. And what were you talking about? Strawberries? Can you?
You can pick.
What were we talking-
I mean, there's roadside stands.
I love it.
They're picking the strawberries on a daily basis, right there. I mean, you can't get
See,
any fresher. Yeah. If you look up Oxnard and what's their most popular crop or whatever they grow, it would be strawberries.
I would go for
This
strawberries.
time of year, excuse me, this time of year, oh yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Oh my God, come on now. Are you
Oh,
serious?
that's fun. Okay. All right. Oxnard is now on the radar. So who are your people at Oxnard? If I see
My people.
your person, yes. They are now on my radar.
Let me put her name back up here. That's Michelle Flippo. She's with so she is with, once again, operations and development manager for Visit Oxnard.
Visit Oxnard. Okay.
I also met Miss Sheena Powell, and she's the sales manager with Zachari Dunes Resort on Mandalay Beach. So that's the beach that the hotel is on. Sits right there. There's space right there that you can have events. In fact, I'm gonna show you that video one more time, and you can see right when the video starts, you'll see that space, that green space right there. That's part of the hotel. You can actually rent that green space out right there, and it's right next to this, right across from the beach. I mean, you can 50 to 100 people out there, and just, man, you can just do it out there. Whatever you do, you can do it. Okay.
You know what? It seems like a nice ideal retreat location. You know, people getting away and getting off the beaten path. You know.
Yeah. I think so. You know, I'm not just. You know, they ain't paying me to talk about all this. I wish they were, but they're not paying me at this point.
They ain't paying you, huh? Well, you did. Well, you definitely did some promo for them, so it's now on my radar. I had no idea. No idea.
So there was something. Okay. So also, I can't think of when's the last time we spoke. So I talked about the conversation I had with Mr. what's his name? Fabio with H Hotels. We talked about that, right?
We talked about it offline.
Oh, we didn't talk about it on this?
We did not talk about it on this, but yeah, you told me about it.
Okay, so switching gears here. Now, I don't have any photos of this yet, so shout out to Mr. Fabio Lameña, and it's Lameña. I forgot the N over the N, okay? But he's with h10hotels.com. So they have 70 hotels that span from Spain to Mexico to other parts of Europe and Caribbean as well. So and these are elevated hotels, right? So if you're looking for anything, just go and check out the website. I'll just leave it at that. Check out the website and I'll make it easier for you right here. So just h10hotels.com. So anyway, so he found me on LinkedIn. And this is the thing. I mean, people don't understand the power of LinkedIn. And he was coming to LA, and I don't know if I mentioned to you, but he was coming to LA to attend the Helms Briscoe. What's
Oh
it
yeah,
called? What's it called?
the ABC.
ABC, yeah, the Helms Briscoe
Yeah.
ABC. And he's coming here for that. That's only a 2 or 3 day event, right? It probably takes him a whole day to get here, but he set up other appointments. Of course, any good salesperson would set up other appointments while he's
Sure.
here, right? Because that's a long trip and it's expensive as heck, to attend this show. So he found me on LinkedIn, right? And he reached out to me, sent me a message and said, "Hey, I'm going to be here for this. Wonder if you want to meet," because he knew, I mean, just looking at my profile, he knew that I did meetings and he knew I did some international things as well, mainly incentive trips. So he looked me up, started sending me messages, and I'm like, okay. And it may be about 3 weeks before he was coming. And I'm like, yeah, I think I can carve out some time for him. So we ended up meeting on a Friday, Starbucks around the corner from where he was staying in downtown. He was staying at the Metropolitan Hotel, which I was not familiar with because it didn't exist the last time I was there in downtown LA, right? So, and I was thinking, I have to say this. When he told me the Metropolitan Hotel, I said, oh my God, I hope this is not some, one of those rundown hotels that are downtown. Well, it was in an area that had been revitalized. It's right across from this major hospital, the Children's Hospital. And oh my God, the area is immaculate now. I mean, they've torn down buildings, they've built up new things, and right around the corner from his building was a Starbucks. Okay, so of course I had my matcha there too. Okay, didn't compare to the other place, but I had my matcha. Okay, but we were able just to talk about, what he was looking for, and find out a little bit about him. That wasn't a selling thing. He was just letting me know what's going on with his hotel company. How often he comes to the States. I mean, he's getting ready now for IMEX Frankfurt, but he also comes to IMEX Vegas as well. And he said IMEX Frankfurt is a lot smaller than IMEX LA Las Vegas. He said that one's out of control. But he said Vegas is just as crazy. It's out of control. But he said,
"Hey, I would agree with that. It's a lot. It's
Frankfurt is a lot more manageable." Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. So now it was good meeting him and spending some time with him and letting me know about his hotels. He showed me a whole presentation about some of his hotels, and I appreciate that. So I appreciated him coming out. I appreciate him finding me on LinkedIn. And like I said, I was gonna break my neck to get there to meeting, because I think that's, for somebody to come across the world, to attend an event and then wants to make other appointments. I'm like, if I have time, I'm definitely doing that. So, and I didn't know about the brand. And they're trying to make more of a footprint here in the U.S. It's about awareness, and he understands, brand elevation and creating awareness, and letting people know throughout the world, not just in Europe, that there's some other options that are non-branded hotels. Okay, so that's the thing. H10 Hotels. No one knows that brand here in the U.S., and I'm sure even in Europe, no one knows it as well. They probably know it better than they do here in the States, right?
Right.
Only people here in the States that probably do a lot of incentive planning and stuff like that probably would know about it. But I said, hey, I'm here to assist you however I can assist you. So I appreciate him coming out.
Well, so and that's great. I feel like he took that initiative to say, hey, who can I reach out? Who don't I know? Who do I need to know? You know what I mean? So it's not just about existing clients or prospective clients, but it's like, who's new that I can reach out to is what I appreciate. But what I will say, so it reminds me of attending SMU International earlier in February, where you're getting information on a lot of these hotels internationally. But what sets you apart? Okay, because like you said, I just heard the brand H10 Hotel. Okay, what does that mean? what does it look like? What do you have around? And I was asking these questions at SMU when they were like, hey, I have a hotel in Lisbon, because my experience being in Europe, and what I immediately think of is, oh, the European rooms, they're small. The European beds, they're tiny. They're the twin beds. So if you have anything that you can say that disputes kind of what in our mind what your hotel would look like, say that, lead with that. Okay, yes, you want business, you want US business, but you got to justify why we should even give it to you. You know what I mean? Not just sure about your brand, but oh man, I want to go to that hotel. I need to visit that hotel. And then 10 times better when you're talking about bringing events and meetings.
Yes.
Why? Like, is it close to the airport? Is it close? Like we always talk about, is it walkable? Do you have anything that distinguishes you between some other hotel? Give all of that information. Yes. You can go to all the events you want and give the fact sheet, but how is that bringing business if I can't see my group there? You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. You hit it right on the head. And he definitely gave me a little bit more to chew on than I had in the past, right? Where a lot of the hotels have the theme of that particular city, right? Whatever the theme is for that city, it's incorporated into the hotel. Some of these buildings could be historical or whatever. One was like a castle at one time, and he has the before and after photos. Like this would have looked like before as this castle, kind of run down, and then how they kind of renovated it to match, the original look of that particular castle. I mean, and it has the theme of that city. If that's Barcelona, if that's Madrid or whatever, has the theme of that neighborhood or that area that hotel happens to be put in. So there's some history that comes along with that. The meeting spaces there, not a lot of them are overly, they're not large hotels. They're not like, I think there may be a couple, there were maybe over 400 rooms, but for the most part, they were under that. So yeah, it was just refreshing. I guess it was refreshing that, and he wasn't selling. He was just once again, he was just creating that awareness, and that's the key. He not once did we say, well, do you have any RFPs for, none of that. That was the furthest thing. We were on the same page. And a lot of times we're not on the same page as a planner versus a hotel person or whatever, a DMO. A lot of times we're not on the same page, meaning I'm fact finding because I don't know anything about your brand. Okay. But this time we were in sync, and that's the good thing, right?
I love it.
Showing you this, and just in case something comes up, blah, 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 let's keep in touch, that kind of thing. So I'm like, man, it was like one of the most perfect meetings that I've ever had, 101, right? It was probably one of the most perfect ones I've ever had. So shout out to Mr. Fabio Lameña. Appreciate you. So yeah, so there you go.
Well, how refreshing. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick, because we always talk about, building that relationship before the RFP. But from when I hear, do you have an RFP for me? So when we're talking about relationships, I mean, we're talking about dating, right? We're talking about like getting to know each other. When I hear, do you have an RFP for me? It sounds like, do you want to get married? It's literally the equivalent of going on a date and asking for marriage. So if you guys are listening to this right now and you are leading the conversation with, do you have an RFP? That's how cringe it sounds to us planners. And we just met you.
That's a good one. That's a good analogy. I like that.
For real. And I love your story about how refreshing it feels, because that's how it should be. And you're raving about it because it was such a positive experience.
Yeah. I mean, the salesperson, they can basically make or break anything just on how they present things. And like I said, it was not a sell. He was just giving me information, and that's what I needed. He gave me what I needed at that point, right? So, and I appreciate that, because remember, I didn't know him 3 weeks prior. I did not know him 3 weeks prior, right? So, but getting back to that whole LinkedIn thing, and if you know how to use LinkedIn, if you use it right or correctly, you can find a lot of people that that may fit the mold as far as they may have potential business. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to find out more information. You're going to have to discover more about that person, but at least you find that person. Like, okay, I know he's done this. I know he's planned in Europe before. He may be interested in this. I know he doesn't know about this, my company. So, that's how he came at me, right? So, I mean, it was great because I was basically a student. He was a teacher. I'm a student. Right. Okay, so there you go.
And that's how you have to lead, especially with these conversations. Like talk to me like I know nothing of your brand.
Exactly.
And what are the key things I should know? Because going back to the events that they were leading with like all of this historical information, and we're not even talking about meeting room space. They're like, well, it was established in 1982. I'm like, no, like give us what we need to know, those key points and what makes sense. So I mean, it could be said about, how to have those conversations when we're, doing that fact finding, or how to have those conversations when we're doing these appointments, but give us just the gist because we don't have that much time. And luckily for you, you had that one-on-one experience with this person. So if you have the chance to have a one-on-one with a planner, you have their undivided attention, lead with the juicy stuff. Don't lead with the, you know what I mean? Get our attention quickly. All right. Exactly. Don't give it. And you could email me the general stuff. You want me to know the historic?
Yes. Exactly.
Send me a fact sheet via email. But you have, you have that undivided attention. Use it wisely. Use it. Use it as best you can. So
that's exactly what
absolutely.
So good.
Cool.
Points. There you go.
Well, look at you. It looks like you've been getting out there.
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I've done a little bit, and then also, I did do the it was a reception for Sage Hospitality. I think I mentioned that, right? That was the week before with Nicole Riggin. She's the corporate director of global sales for Sage Hospitality. So it was actually at the Hotel Per LA, downtown LA. I think I mentioned this. I may have mentioned this already.
I don't think you have.
I met her at IPEC in Arizona.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway.
No. I know of. So who is Sage Hospitality? We're going to put it out there. Who do they represent?
Sage Hospitality is a management company.
Right.
I'll just say I know they manage the Hotel Per. It's called Per. I don't know if it's Per La or Per LA. Yeah, and it's which is it's an autograph collection in LA.
Okay.
So they at least represent that hotel, and they were here for HB as well, Helms Briscoe.
Oh, I think I saw something. Wasn't it on a rooftop? Didn't I comment on your Instagram?
Yes. All right. There you go. It's coming back.
I was like, yeah. It was. Well, I didn't know where you were. I just saw the rooftop. You know how I feel about rooftop. So it did look great.
Yes. It's a great rooftop location. Yes.
All right.
So that was good. Just to connect.
So was it just a reception? Was it just a?
It was just a reception to see the hotel.
Bringing out planners out.
Kind of bring some planners together.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they were doing it in conjunction with the HB thing that was already happening. And some
HB
people came over as well. But there was a lot of Sage people, the sales people. So now I at least know. I mean, I know Nicole from IPEC, and then I got to meet some of the local people that represent Hotel Per LA, which I didn't have any contacts there before. And so it was good to meet them as well. Saw the hotel as well. So there you go. And it's downtown, and it's a hotel that was originally the Bank of Italy, built in the 20s. So it has that, that architecture design from the 20s. I love the hotel. The hotel, it shows very well. And you can't beat a rooftop, right? You can't beat a rooftop. So pool on the rooftop, bar on the rooftop. So no, it's nice. City views, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So you would have been in love with it. You probably still be.
It sounds great.
So it's always good.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's something case. So, as planners, there's always someone that's like, hey, where can I do something? Where can I have a showstopper venue? So you have a rooftop that's for, entertaining and receptions, show that off. Invite planners out. We need to see those spaces,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about that.
Yes. So shout out to Nicole Riggin, once again, director, global sales, Sage Hospitality, and the hotel per. I guess it's per LA. I still haven't figured
Okay,
it's
per LA.
Per LA. Let's just say it's per LA, which is an autograph collection, 240 guest rooms, 5,500 square feet of meeting space. So not a lot of meeting space. It is a very nice hotel. And then there's some other planners there that have used the hotel before, and they couldn't stop raving about the hotel or the service itself. So
and that is something that's a cue right there, and we talked about this before, because if you have planners and you made somebody mad, best believe word gets around. So it's good to know. And a lot of times, I don't know if suppliers know this, but we not only will send out RFPs, but we'll vet depending on our colleagues. So be like, hey, have you worked with them? What do you think? If they've had a bad experience, we're going to be like, might not need to go there. So, and, not to say that, if something goes bad with a program with a planner, but you got to make that right quickly as possible, because that word will go out. If you ignore it, and we talked about this before a lot, but if you ignore whatever happened, best believe it gets out. It spreads.
Yeah.
So
it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Exactly. But no, it's good that they've had a good experience, and would share that. So yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
I like that.
So you're caught up. I think you're caught up on everything for the last 3 weeks or so. Yeah, on what I've done.
This is good.
So yeah. So anything else from you?
Well, I just want to say, so it's May, it's spring, so this is a great time for those events to connect with planners, and those invites and those dinners, and talking about, your property. I have a full week this week. I think I'm double booked on Wednesday. So I fly back home on Wednesday. I have 2 events. And now's the time to showcase. So Teneo, are you familiar with Teneo?
That's a DMC, right?
So sorry, no, not Teneo. All High. I have an All High event. So they I don't know what you call them, but they're not a management company, but I guess a membership consortium of like luxury properties.
Yeah, they represent a lot of them. Yeah, they're like a national sales, but it's its own company.
But it's not really a DMC. It's basically because I know
it's not a DMC.
Yeah, because I know the hotels, they pay in to be part of it. So so they do. So they're their marketing arm of it. But I like it because they're, for the most part, vetted luxury hotel properties. So they have their spring events, and I'm looking forward to that. There's a list of, and that event is great because it's not appointments. It's basically them showcase like tabletops. They have little tabletop kind of vendors, but
you just flow at your own. There's no appointment.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So I like that. I mean, I imagine there's going to be some people that I know there, so it'd be great to catch up. But it's not stringent, you know what I mean? And then it's more of a reception style. Okay. So and then you can talk, at your leisure. And I like that. So that should be good. And then there's a couple other showcase events that I'm going to. There's one company that's, so I do some corporate charters, and they're going to share their fleet. So we're going to Navy Pier, check that out. It's still kind of chilly in Chicago, so we'll see. Yeah, so I feel like this is kind of the start of where you get a lot of these venues doing their planner showcases and, open houses or whatever. So, that's what I'll be doing for next week or so.
Well, good. See, you're getting out and doing some things, finally getting out of, your place and experiencing things in Chicago.
Oh, come on. I'm out. Well, yeah. So usually my Chicago, we start to, get out of hibernation around into April, May. So it'll
Wow,
be good.
wow.
Uh,
Okay, good. How's you've seen Caesars lately?
no, no.
How's that going?
Why are you laughing? She watches. Shout out, Liv. If Alana's watching, shout out. Still trying to connect. She was in New Orleans. I was trying to connect with her, and now she was out of town. Now I'm out of town, so I'll reach out.
Okay,
I get
okay.
home. I think I have a week or two. I'm home, and then I'm heading to Incentive Live. That's in Fort Lauderdale at the end of the month.
Okay, so
So
you got some traveling to do. I see. I
yeah,
see.
and that's going to be at the Omni Fort Lauderdale. So I've never been to that property. And I believe it's right on the water.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Sounds like
Uh,
fun. Sounds like
yeah,
you got a busy couple of weeks coming up.
couple weeks.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry about that. Okay.
I mean, honestly, doing all this and so our lives are just keep rolling. So a lot of this is for programs for 2027. I
Okay.
mean, it'll be here in 7 months.
That's
so
true. That's true.
so we got to plan ahead.
That's true. You are
That's why we
absolutely
do
right.
this.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
no, this has been good. This has been good. Now I know you have a hard stop at 10 o'clock, okay,
Oh,
or
you really
time,
you know that?
or noon
Goodness.
your time. So we got like 3 minutes. I just want to, give you a heads up that I am aware of your time, limit restrictions or whatever. So hey, that's
Oh
just what I
goodness.
do. That's just what I do. So I just want a quick shout out to I see Cheeto over there on Instagram, and I also see is it AJS Concrete WPG. I think I'm saying it right. If not, I'm sorry. But anyway, hey, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys joining on Instagram as well as everybody else on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. I appreciate that as well. So we've done a lot. We've covered a lot today. We talked about some things.
We did.
We appreciate, some people that have come into town and want to meet with you. I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. It's always good to be invited. I mean, I can't make everything, but I actually made some stuff this time. So no, it's good to get out. Even in LA, it's good to get out and see things in your backyard, right? That maybe you haven't seen in a while. Yeah, so take advantage of those things.
Especially when your backyard changes, so you didn't realize all the development that happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect over there. I'm like, wait a minute, this dude
Yeah.
staying somewhere where I think he's staying, and then you go over there, you see it's like this shiny new dime. I'm like, what the heck?
Okay.
I didn't even know that was there. So even in my own city, I don't know everything. Okay, hotels that popped up, independent hotels, and one thing he said that kind of was a good thing, because he works for an independent hotel, right? And he says when I travel, I always look for the best independent hotel to stay in. He said he's not a lot of big brands because he doesn't represent a big brand. So
Yeah.
I always want to make sure I take advantage of some of these independent hotels that are in different destinations. And that's what he stayed at. That's why he stayed at the Metropolitan in downtown LA. So I appreciate that as well. So those are things.
Yep. Independent.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
So anyway, all right, that is it. Because Tiffany got to go, and I don't want her just to sign off. I want to give her time to, say goodbye. So.
Oh, well, thank you. No, this is good. I feel like we're at a great stopping place and got an update and can't wait to hear. Well, I'll update you next week about my experiences.
Yeah, are
on
we
my
on next
location.
Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I know.
Traveling. I don't know if you're going to be traveling next Monday. I don't know what your schedule is.
We are on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. So thank you guys so much for joining. This is a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, but special guest on Mondays is always going to be Miss Tiffany English. So, she gives us her own little spin on things, where she's been and where she's going and, who has a rooftop and, what food is
Right.
good and all that stuff. So no, we
The important things.
the important things, of course. So anyway, you guys have a great week, and then we'll see you again next Monday. So that is it. Take care. Peace.
Bye.